Good day everyone! Welcome to our class. I am Rex Kadeday along with my group mates. By the way, we are the group 6. Today we are going to discuss the chapter 6, Social Media and Terrorism. At the end of this lesson, when it comes on knowledge, students will be able to define cyber terrorism, explain its relationship to traditional terrorism, and identify its key characteristics in the context of social media. Skills: students will be able to analyze real-world case studies of terrorist organizations' use of social media to identify patterns, tactics, and strategies. And when it comes on attitude, students will demonstrate awareness of the ethical considerations involved in combating cyber terrorism, balancing security concerns with freedom of speech and privacy rights.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Wenalyn Manzaneros and we are the group 6 and our topic is all about social media and terrorism. But first, let us define these two, the social media and the terrorism. Social media refers to digital platforms and technologies that enables users to create, share, and interact with content as well as connect with others in virtual communities such as social networking sites like Facebook, the YouTube, and many more. Social media facilitates communication, information sharing, and community building often in real time and has become an integral part of modern life for personal, professional, and societal purposes. While terrorism is the use of violence, threats, or intimidation to instill fear in a population or government, often for political, ideological, or religious motives. It can take various forms including the domestic terrorism or within a country, the international terrorism or across national borders, the cyber terrorism, or the targeting digital infrastructure. So social media has transformed how people connect, share information, and communicate across the globe. While these platforms have brought numerous benefits, they have also been exploited by terrorist organizations to promote violence and extremism in unprecedented ways. These groups exploit platforms like the Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, and YouTube to recruit followers, radicalize vulnerable individuals, disseminate or spread propaganda globally. The appeal of social media lies in its anonymity, global reach, and direct access to audiences. Terrorist groups such as ISIS use these features to run targeted campaigns that lure marginalized individuals by offering them a false sense of belonging and purpose through extremist ideologies. Unlike traditional media, social platforms allow these groups to control their narratives without censorship. They glorify violence, manipulate public perception, and spread radical messages widely. Additionally, algorithm-driven content and echo chambers reinforce these ideologies by showing users more of what they already believe, making it harder for them to see alternative viewpoints and easier to fall deeper into extremism. In essence, social media has become a double-edged sword. While it connects the world, it also enables terrorists to exploit its openness to spread hate and violence. So that's all for my part and thank you for listening.
Cyberterrorism is a growing threat in today's digital world as terrorist activities increasingly takes place online. It involves using the internet and digital tools to support or carry out terrorism, often exploiting modern digital infrastructure. Among these tools, social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Telegram, and encrypted messaging apps play a central role. So, cyberterrorism is an escalating threat in today's digital landscape involving the deliberate use of internet technologies and digital tools by terrorists to intimidate, disrupt, or cause harm to societies, often for political or ideological purposes. This form of terrorism can manifest through attacks on critical infrastructure, dissemination of propaganda, theft, or manipulation of sensitive data, and the disruption of essential services, leveraging the anonymity, global reach, and low cost of digital operations to create widespread fear and chaos. Unlike the traditional terrorism, cyber-terrorism exploits the interconnectedness of modern digital infrastructure, making it possible for attackers to inflict significant economic, psychological, or even physical damage from anywhere in the world while remaining difficult to trace or stop. Terrorist organizations use social media to spread propaganda without traditional media gatekeeping, recruit members by targeting isolated or disaffected individuals, communicate securely using encryption, raise funds and gather intelligence, conduct cyber attacks on vital systems like power grids and financial institutions. Spread propaganda without traditional media gatekeeping means social media platforms allow terrorists to bypass traditional media filters and directly disseminate their messages globally. They use tools like hashtags, bots, and viral content to amplify their propaganda rapidly and reach wide audiences without editorial oversight. And the next one, which is recruit members by targeting isolated or disaffected individuals, means terrorists identify vulnerable individuals through social media and engage with them tailored messages to foster a sense of belonging and purpose. This individualized communication often leads to radicalization and recruitment, as seen with groups like ISIS using videos and chat rooms to connect with potential recruits worldwide. The next one is communicate securely using encryption. This means that after initial contact on public platforms, terrorists often move conversations to encrypted messaging apps to avoid detection and maintain operational security. These secure channels facilitate private coordination and planning while minimizing the risk of interception by authorities. The next one, raise funds and gather intelligence, means social media is used to solicit donations and financial support from sympathizers globally, often disguised as charitable contributions. Additionally, terrorists gather intelligence by monitoring social media for information on targets, security measures, and public sentiment to plan attacks effectively. Next one, conduct cyber attacks on vital systems like power grids and financial institutions. This basically means some terrorist groups leverage digital tools and social media networks to coordinate and execute cyber attacks aimed at disrupting critical infrastructure. These attacks can cause widespread chaos and economic damage, exploiting vulnerabilities in interconnected systems. And now we're going to talk about the recruitment through social media. So, terrorist organizations use social media as a powerful recruitment tool, allowing them to reach potential followers globally without physical contact. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube enable extremists to identify and target individuals who feel isolated, marginalized, or alienated. The anonymity and accessibility of social media make it easier for terrorists to engage with vulnerable users and gradually draw them into extremist ideologies, bypassing traditional barriers to recruitment. And we're going to talk about also the radicalization via social media. So, social media has transformed terrorist radicalization, replacing face-to-face methods with anonymous online outreach. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Telegram allow extremists to spread ideologies globally, targeting alienated individuals. Terrorists create echo chambers that reinforce radical beliefs and isolate users from moderate views, offering a false sense of belonging. They use interactive tactics, using as personalized messaging and emotional manipulations, especially to engage youth, leading some to become active participants in violence. The speed and anonymity of social media hinder early intervention, necessitating a balanced approach that protects security and civil liberties while addressing the root causes of extremist appeal. So that would be all for my part, and once again, I am Rex Ofareday, and we are now going to proceed with our next reporter.
Good day everyone, my name is Landy Sibomit. And today, I am going to talk about terrorist propaganda, how groups spread their ideas and convince people to support them. This is an important topic because propaganda affects many people, and knowing about it helps us stay aware and safe. Understanding terrorist propaganda. Terrorist propaganda is a way that extremist groups use messages, pictures, videos, and social media to make people believe in their cause. They try to influence minds, recruit people, and spread fear. Their goal is to make others see their actions as right even when they use violence. So here in the Philippines, terrorist propaganda has been used by different groups to spread their beliefs. This happens mainly in areas with conflict where people are struggling with poverty and lack of opportunities. By promising help, safety, or purpose, these groups try to convince people to join them. And now, let's move on to the key objectives of terrorist propaganda. The first one is recruitment. Terrorist groups want new members, so they use promises to attract people. One example is Abu Sayyaf in Mindanao. They have convinced young people to join by offering money and protection. Some are tricked into thinking they will have a better life, but they end up forced into a dangerous mission. The second one is radicalization. This means changing how people think so they believe in extreme ideas. A good example is the Mauti group before the 2017 Marawi siege. They spread messages online and in schools telling people that they need to fight the government. These messages made some individuals believe that using violence was right thing to do. And the third one is fear and intimidation. Terrorist groups want people to be afraid so they can show their power. In 2023, a bomb exploded at Mindanao State University during a Catholic Mass. Many people were killed and injured, and this made others scared to go to public places. Such attacks aim to make people feel unsafe. The last one is legitimation of violence. Some groups try to make violence seem acceptable by saying they are fighting for a good reason. The New People's Army or NPA has used propaganda to explain their attacks on government forces. They claim they are helping poor communities and defending their rights, but they also use violence which harm innocent people. In the end, terrorist propaganda is powerful, but awareness and education are even stronger. By understanding how these groups spread their messages, we can prevent people from being influenced and keep our communities safe. Always think critically, question what you see online, and share knowledge with others. Together, we can fight misinformation and build a safer future.
Good day everyone, I am Dexter Baco and today I will be discussing a very relevant and serious topic, which is the challenges in combating cyber terrorism via social media. Now, so let's start by defining what cyber terrorism is. Basically, it refers to the use of the internet and digital platforms, especially social media, to plan, promote, or carry out terrorist activities. Now, why is this so hard to fight? Let me explain some of the major challenges of this. First, we have the volume of speed of content. Social media moves fast. Millions, sometimes billions of posts are made every day. This makes it very hard for platforms and law enforcement to catch extremist content as soon as it appears. And by the time it's detected, it might have already been seen by thousands or even gone viral. Now that we've talked about the challenges in combating cyber terrorism via social media, let's move on to the second part of my report, the policy recommendations and conclusion. To effectively combat cyber terrorism online, we need a multifaceted approach, meaning we have to tackle the problem from many directions at once. This includes using technology, adapting laws, and getting communities involved. Now first, we have the enhanced monitoring and alerting mechanisms. First, we need to improve how we monitor online activity. This means using artificial intelligence and advanced tools to automatically detect extremist content. These systems should be able to alert authorities or platforms in real time. The goal is to spot and stop dangerous content before it spreads. second, we have to strengthen collaboration among stakeholders. We need a stronger teamwork. Here, the governments, tech companies, law enforcement, and even international organizations need to work together, sharing information, coordinating responses, and creating joint task forces can make an anti-terrorism efforts more effective across platforms and borders. Third, we have to develop comprehensive counter-narratives. We can't just remove bad content, we also have to replace it with good content. We need to build counter-narratives that challenge extremist ideas. This could come from former extremists, community leaders, or everyday people promoting peace, tolerance, and respect. It's about winning the battle of ideas online. Fourth is to implementing educational programs. Education is key, and we already know that. We need to teach people, especially the youth, about online safety, digital literacy, and how to think critically. This helps prevent people from falling into radical thinking. Schools, families, and communities have a role to play here. 5 is to strengthen legal frameworks. We need to update our laws. Many of today's laws were not built for the digital age. Clearer and stronger legal frameworks can help hold platforms accountable, define what counts as cyberterrorism, and make it easier for countries to work together legally. And the last one is investing in community engagement. Finally, we need to work with communities on the ground. Often, communities are the first to notice signs of radicalization. By supporting local leaders, youth groups, and religious organizations, we can stop cyber-terrorism before it starts. This approach builds trust and resilience from the bottom up. Now, in conclusion, cyber-terrorism on social media is a serious threat, but it's not unbeatable. By combating technology, law, education, and community action, we can build a stronger defense against it. We all have a role to play, from policymakers and tech developers to educators and everyday users. Let's remember this. The fight against cyberterrorism is not just about removing harmful content. It's about building a safer, smarter, and more united online world.